landed that like right on the right mark.
Wow.
We went
That's
from like these beautiful Balinese bells to polka.
yeah, that
That's what
was
I get for
some
trying and that's what I
music.
get for trying a new soundtrack.
Yeah. I, I don't I don't even I don't even know what to say for after
Yeah.
music like that.
It's like being online. You never know what's going to happen. If you use royalty-free soundtracks, you never know what you're going to get.
Well, and especially being on Stephanie's online, you really like we need to differentiate here that everyone else's online is not quite the same as yours.
Yeah, but everybody else's online can be boring.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I am never bored with you.
Well, thank you.
So it's gross here.
Yeah, I got a little snow yesterday, but it's just kind of cold and that's it. We're supposed to
I'm
get up to
getting
70 on Friday or
Yeah, I'm
Saturday.
getting like 3 inches right now. Just enough. It was just enough to make like poor partner's commute home not fun.
Oh, that stinks. That's right. He goes into the city, doesn't he?
He goes everywhere. I don't know where the hell he went today. Like he says these weird names of schools and I'm just like, what is that? So, like there's one that he says and he says Fezzi and every time he says it, I think of Arthur Fonzarelli.
Okay.
I don't remember where they are. I don't remember what the real names are. Like that's just the shortened name of the school. I don't know. There's he could be going in every day into some secret government project and I wouldn't know.
All right then.
Yeah. I stayed home all day and did all kinds of work, like I needed to do a little bit for this and I needed to do a little bit for that and a little bit for this and a little bit for that. So that's what I did.
Yeah. I've been not robustly productive today, but we all
I
have
mean,
those
you
days.
took a nap, right?
Shh.
But that was a productive nap, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
You produced serotonin.
Yeah. I guess I mean I needed it obviously for whatever reason. I feel like I've been sleeping well, but who knows?
Yeah. I
Ooh,
slept
Rapid's
like
got
me.
62 degrees with some rain possibly. Yeah, it's been raining all day here.
Supposedly we're gonna get some really warm weather. Just in time to turn the clocks this weekend.
Ugh, I'm not looking forward. I struggle with this.
Okay, shut up.
It's all in my head. I know it's all in
Yeah,
my head,
it's
but
all in your head, and you know what? It can stay there because I need some longer sunlight hours, okay?
yeah, I do like the longer sunlight, but it's still a struggle for me. Lose that hour.
It's for one night.
It feels like I've lost an hour for because I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's already 7, or oh my gosh, it's already 8. But when we're in daylight savings time, I'll be like, oh gosh, is it 6 already? No, it's only 5.
If you're doing that every single day after we turn the clocks back, I think you need to talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, hey, I'm lucky that I know what day it is.
Well, or I'm gonna be like, are you living in an Amish or Mennonite household that has two clocks? Like, do you never change the clock in your car? I
The
didn't
clock
think
in
so.
my car was broken, so that was irrelevant. My husband never changes the clock in his car, so it's only right, half a year. So yeah.
I think most people are going to agree that you're nuts.
I'm not complaining about longer daylight. I am not complaining about that at all. It's just like I'm very strict about like, okay, it's time for bed, and if I'm not done with what I'm doing, that like stresses me out.
You're very strict about it's time for bed.
Well, I stay up very late.
I was gonna
There
say,
comes a time
like,
where I'm
who
like,
are
no
you trying
more,
to
go to bed.
convince here, me or you? Like,
I agree. I stay up late, but like there is a cutoff, and yeah,
four?
for like I have to go to bed. It's much too
I
late to be
know,
up
but
for
I mean, like,
weekends.
is four the cutoff?
Oh no. No, it's like one or two. So
The time where daylight savings couldn't possibly matter. That's when, actually, if you go 2 to 3, that's when the clocks do stuff.
yeah, yeah.
It
I
was
just
it was
sleep
very
before bar time. It's
interesting.
important.
It was very interesting in my years of working the overnight shift. We would work those nights. So there was one night we'd work a 9 hour shift, and then there'd be another night we would work a 7 hour shift because we still had to leave at the correct time.
Right, yeah, but you have to offset
Um,
to get your hours. Yeah, I worked an overnight shift. I can't remember if it's I don't know that it spanned any um daylight savings time hours, but we did have to adjust it when, I did payroll for warehouse workers. So,
mhm.
yeah, I
Well,
get it.
speaking of feeling all kinds of weird and not knowing what date is, what time it is, I had that feeling. I posted the March schedule out in the world today, and a lot of my commentary on it was, how the hell is it March?
I know.
You
It
know,
feels like, I
like,
mean, does it not feel like just yesterday was Thanksgiving and or Christmas? I mean, it just feels like it's very tangible in our recent past, but it is already March. It's insane. And we've
yeah,
had such an action-packed year so far, and it's only been 2 months long. It's felt like it's 10 years long.
part of why it feels weird for me is we didn't start to get any real like snow till like February.
Right, yeah, same.
And that's late in the season
Yeah, I think
to,
we got some flurries back in December, but it
yeah,
didn't
we
amount
got
to
a little
anything.
bit,
So, yeah.
a few inches here and there, but we didn't get a blizzard till February.
Yeah. Well, that is a surprisingly low-key calendar, is it not? We have
It
stuff going
is.
on, but none of it is happening during our regular stream times. So,
Yeah. And one
yeah.
thing that I don't have on this calendar, which I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt now that I forgot to put it on here, is the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th here are various events of which, hold on, I'll get it up here on the screen. Various events related to Winter Virtual Seminar for American Quilt Study Group. And of course my Facebook account will have signed me out. Hold on one second. That would have just been like the fastest way to pull it up, but whatever, we have other avenues.
I am putting the link in the chat
Hold on
for what
one
you were getting
second for
to.
me because I'm gonna have a coughing spell and I need to blow my nose.
Well, what Jill is trying to pull up is the American Quilt Study Group Winter Virtual Seminar, which is happening on the 12th through the 15th. And there are, on the 12th, the evening of the 12th, it's a Thursday, we have an open house. So, and that is free to the public and our members. So you just have to register so we know you're coming. The next night we have a keynote speaker, Sandra Sider. And you may recognize her name because we're going to be reading her book. So if you're an AQSG member, that is free for you to attend. You just have to register. If you are not, you may still attend. It just costs you a little bit of money. And then we have all of our wonderful study centers on Saturday and Sunday, the 14th and 15th. And there are some really amazing ones. And I'm plotting because I'm one of the tech people and I'm also making the schedule. And I'm like, when am I going to put myself into the study centers I want to see really bad? And then
Well,
which
and
ones am I just gonna wait and view when they're recorded? So
yeah, I was gonna say, and the majority of things are also being recorded, so you can watch
Mhm.
recordings afterwards. Here are prices for members and non-members. This is also a great time to announce too that if you are not a member and you want to become a member, especially to get the member pricing here in time, there is a discount code. And Steph, are you able to pull that up in your email real quick? I just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure it's WVS 2026 for $15 off a new membership.
yeah, let me look here.
Um, Okay, sorry, my phone is doing weird things. So yeah, you don't have to pay
Yes,
the,
it's WVS 2026.
can you type that into the chat too?
That's what I was doing.
And I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong, Steph, that that is good till the end of the month.
I think that's what Carrie said. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, LJ. Um, so yeah, there's that, and then that's not what I want to look at. Where is, boop. There we go. So here's the schedule here. Um, and if you, this is on our Instagram page, which is also our Facebook page, you can get on and I'll show you in a second, but you can see more about each of these uh study centers. Where's my brain? It's March. That's where my brain is. Hi, Druid.
Hi, Druid. Hi, LJ. How's your
So,
mom?
some of these Stephanie and I have had the privilege of seeing before, either with AQSG or elsewhere. So Stephanie has attended this study center by Janet Dionis, who is one
Do
of
you
our,
guys know Janet? She
yeah,
comes
she's one of our
sometimes.
watchers here.
Huh.
I have seen this one, and I think you did too, Stephanie, by Mariah Kuffner. Um,
That is
there's,
not the one I saw, but
oh, okay. You've
yeah, the
just
one I
seen her
saw was a
talk.
different topic. But I have seen her speak.
Hmm.
She's a
Hmm.
great speaker.
Hmm. So, and the other thing too is that for the most part, the schedules are the same from Saturday to Sunday for a lot of the study centers. So you could, in essence, the reason to do that is because you could actually almost see everything live if you wanted to by having the days very similar. It also means that you, if you want to, you can schedule things. If Saturday doesn't work, then Sunday works. There's a few varying things here. Like, so on, oop, sorry. I keep screwing up where I'm doing stuff here. Okay, so on Saturday here, Terry Walker, she is only presenting the one day. So the next day, it's Amy Reed filling in that spot. So just pay attention. And then on Saturday here, it's Charbonne Plummer's Evolution of Uncoverings and What's Next. That's only on Saturday. That's not on Sunday. So just make sure that you pay attention to that. And then, as Stephanie said earlier, on Thursday up here, we have our welcome reception at 8 p.m. We have breakout rooms on Zoom, and that's really fun. And then our keynote up here is Friday night. So it's, everyone's like, oh my God, 4 days, that's so long. It's really not.
It goes by
It's
really
just about,
fast.
it's, yeah, those first 2 days are a couple of things at night. It's really Saturday and Sunday that would be a long day if you filled your day. So, but it's totally cool and you should totally come. And if you're not a member, it's a great time to join.
And I
And
really highly recommend doing at least the
hmm
keynote. And
hmm
I think that's
hmm
$25 for non-members, right?
Yep.
$25. Yeah, $25 for non-members, and you get to hear Sandra talk about the book that we will be reading. So
Yeah, everything's a la
very fun.
carte. So you can do also this textiles 101 if you're kind of like, I don't really know where to get started or what some of the basics are. Like this is a lecture that Susie Jerome has done. This is what, the third or fourth time now? Because we've done them
Yeah, I
in
think it's
person
like the
and we've done them
fourth.
virtually.
Yeah. And it's
Um,
very popular and it's
it's
always
very
very
popular.
good. And she changes it up a little bit every time. So
Hmm.
even if you have seen it before, it's probably worth watching. So
Yep.
because
Yep.
she'll give
Very
some
popular.
different spin on things. So
It's so popular that she's talking about doing like the next step kind of lecture
yeah,
for
well,
it.
I'm
So,
excited for her to do the next like
hmm
textiles 201 or whatever.
hmm 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 Yep. So, if you have nothing else, I can.
I want to look at those textiles at the MFA Boston, and I saw the book,
Mhm.
and I'm just like drooling thinking about these patchwork. Oh, so
So
gorgeous.
I, a couple of things. So I do have to say that we, there was a number of us that went from the New England Quilt Study Group. We're a little disappointed that the exhibit wasn't bigger.
It was
It
much
was
smaller
in,
than you expected, right?
yeah, it was in a
Hmm.
small pocket gallery. And the way it was kind of hyped up that it would be a bigger gallery, and we kind of wondered if it had started out a bigger show and then for varying reasons it became a smaller show.
Hmm.
Because there is a an accompanying exhibition catalog that's hefty and has so much more than the exhibit has. And is definitely, worth your while. We can look it up at the oh, you found it. Or is
Yeah, I
that
just
for
put
the
the
exhibit?
that's the link for the exhibit I put in there.
Oh, I was gonna say we can pull up the
It
book.
does say on like the blurb on their website that it's 20 textiles. So, it I don't
I
know if
don't
they've
know if it
updated that or
originally said that or not, but I will
yeah.
say we had made our plans to go and everything before some unpleasant news came out about the MFA, letting go a number of minority curators with some proposed funding cuts. So I will say that there's a lot of talk about that and the obvious issues surrounding that.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed to hear about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of unfortunateness going on at our humanities institutions at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, one thing I will say is I did not check as to whether or not this particular curator was one of them to be let go. So that is something to look into. The other thing I will say is that I was having when I went to take photos of this exhibit, it was with my new phone, which is sometimes possessed by a ghost. And sometimes when I go to like take photos, it automatically switches into video mode and I can't figure out how that happens. So you should have seen when I was uploading all these photos. It would be like one photo and like 31-second videos and I'm just like so
Yeah,
yeah,
mine
so
does weird stuff like that too.
I don't know. It was really pissing me off. Um So this top that got cut off here is 100 Villages, the beauty of patchwork in rural China.
Yeah,
So
it's
we have
100
here,
stitches, 100 villages, I believe is the full name.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. So we have here since time immemorial, people have saved scraps of cloth and pieced them together to create functional textiles. In rural China, women still make patchwork fabrics to use as door curtains to block winter drafts, bed covers, stool cushions, and even children's clothes. They create these textiles for practical purposes, but many seize the opportunity to engage. Okay, that was a loud bang. Um, to engage their creativity, turning these domestic items into uplifting works of art. Chinese patchwork evolved from the ancient Buddhist custom of wearing patchwork robes to demonstrate humility and indifference to material goods. The Buddha, who preached in India in the 6th century BCE, instructed his disciples to stitch and wear robes created from brown rags following a strict symbolic pattern. In China, Buddhist monks wore patchwork mantles called, I don't know how to say that word, which also translates to 100 stitches made with brighter colors. Taoist monks also wore patchwork. You look funny, Sally.
Yeah, I was trying to see the word, and I'm not gonna try to.
Um, Taoist monks also wore patchwork, but they often discarded the regulated pattern. By the Song period, 960 to 1279, women had begun making patchwork jackets for their children, believing that they offered protection from malevolent forces. Over the centuries, the tradition thrived as women, who usually did the sewing for their families, made patchworked articles for their households using old clothes and fabric scraps. During the 1950s and 60s, when cotton and other materials were in short supply, the Chinese government encouraged recycling of all kinds and promoted patchwork making. Today, manufactured textiles are plentiful in China, yet some women continue to find pleasure in piecing together their scraps, uh, riffing on old patterns or making spontaneous compositions. Since these lovingly crafted practical objects are never made for sale, women are free from the demands of the marketplace and can follow wherever their imaginations carry them.
I love this. So a couple things that just really struck me, and I saw some of these things as I looked at the book. Jill brought the catalog, the book, which is wonderful, to QuiltCon with her so that I could peruse. And oh, it's a feast for the eyes. But I did notice the thing about like the doorways, and you
Mhm.
know that's a thing. Like during the Depression here in the U.S., people did that, and even you know before the Depression, like during westward expansion, when they were living in dugouts and stuff, they created quilts and patchwork items to you know stop drafts.
Mhm.
um
Mhm.
and yeah, and then I think that there's in so many different you know Asian communities there, you know, in Japan there's the idea of boro, and recycling and patching and reusing pieces of cloth to make you know jackets and field clothes. And I mean you can almost think like the rural people of these countries are often like you know the rural people of our country, you know, they don't always have like instant access to things, so that you know they would reuse what they had. um so yeah, I really love the premise of this, and
I
the
would
pictures
say
are really
that,
neat.
yeah, you will definitely love the quilts. LJ had just mentioned in relation to my taking a photo and getting
Yeah.
video, she said my finger brushes the bottom of the phone screen and always hits the video function. You know what, LJ? I thought that's what was going on at first. I thought like maybe my screen is just so sensitive that even just like feeling, that's not what's happening. I've literally made sure that my finger is in the other room while I'm holding the phone, and it must, I'm wondering if it has something to do with like if you lock on kind of an image for so many seconds, it automatically goes, which I'm like, I don't want that. Like I'm locking on because I'm just trying to make sure that it's focused and center and you know whatever. So I have to look into it more, but I'll tell you, man, that day it pissed me off.
That's irritating. It happens to me a lot, where I'll be and I'm like, oh no, this is video. I don't want video because it frames the picture differently. You know, like what you're getting ready to
Hmm.
take. So yeah.
All right.
All right,
So,
let's look at some eye candy here. We've had just a
well,
text.
I wanted to get a close up of
Oh,
this
this
little, because
gentleman.
this was on the original on the side there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and this
That's in the
uh,
book. That's in the beginning of the book.
this garment was really cool. And it's a Taoist mendiant friar. I'm not sure what that means. But 1920s.
Well, I mean, a mendiant
Photograph.
friar would be like a in like European traditions is like a monk, basically.
Yeah. It's just in my learnings of Taoist religion,
Ah,
that's not a word I remember coming up with. What's the matter?
sorry. Yeah, I think I'm having a little bit of a yeah, I don't know. It seems okay. For some reason it was like it's glitching a little bit, it says.
Yeah.
You guys let us
Okay.
know if you're not seeing like a smooth. Yeah, getting some lag. Okay.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see the screen. We can hang for just a sec. I'll see if things come back. It looks like it might be back. The joys of weather.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's still giving me the error message, but as long as we're still connected, we can move very slow. Okay. You're still there. All right. Well, that actually didn't knock us out.
Didn't?
No.
We're still
Everything looks like
here?
it's still. Yeah, everything looks like it's still streaming.
Well, no, it's just spinning.
Okay, let me do
Oh,
this.
yeah, it came back for a second and it's still spinning.
Okay, I think we're back. I think. It's still buffering though. Oh, boo hiss. You know, it's only on Tuesday nights this happens.
We haven't had a really bad one in a long time, and we are having weather.
Yeah. it has been a while, but alas, it doesn't seem to happen when, say, oh, sporting tournaments are on. Only when I'm trying to stream. Okay. We might be stable again. All right. Sorry about this, you guys.
All right, let's see. Let's see what happens when I go back to
Get something pretty up on
sharing.
the screen so that at least if we freeze, there's something pretty to look at.
Yeah, I know,
So that
right?
that guy, so that guy, the Mendiant friar, I would say in sort of in the like European tradition, that's a like a monk, like Friar Tuck. I mean, you think about just an itinerant religious person.
And you know what's interesting that I was trying to say is back when I was in my religion masters, um, and learning about some Buddhist and Taoist and things like that, I don't ever recall seeing anyone in anything quilted. Not to say that I didn't, I just don't remember because I wasn't as much into quilts at the time. So, man, let me try to. This is, hold on one second. I just need to do something.
Okay, yeah, it looks
Um,
like Druid is saying that we're stable, so I think
Yeah, I just need to relaunch my YouTube here
fingers
because
crossed.
now mine's not on, it's too far behind.
Ah,
So
yes.
let me just reopen and make sure that I'm in the right spot here. So I'm watching us in real time. Okay, LJ says it's much better. Okay. Thank you for your patience, y'all. We love you. All right, so moving on. Okay. So this was just what we were reading right here. And then next to the wall were these cutie little dumplings. This is Laura Lane right here. Um, recent. Did you mess up my volume again, Stephanie?
No, I haven't changed anything.
Hmm.
You do come in and out. You like get louder sometimes, and then I think it might be your microphone, but
I mean, my microphone stays in the same place. I yell sometimes.
it's very
Um,
nice to see Laura, but zoom in on those cute little
oh, don't worry, there's more photos. Don't worry. So here's this on the bottom. The placard for it is over here. Don't worry, we will see that too. But so at first, before we read the placard, we were talking about this and we were like, is this like a is this like a pillow? Is it a bag? Um, like
seems
what
like
is
an
this?
apron to me. Is that what it
Doesn't
is?
it look like an apron?
Kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's closed and folded in.
Okay, so
Like
it's two
yeah, so we were
layers.
like, yeah, and what's funny is off the top of my head, I don't remember what it is. But we were like, oh, like
Yeah, I mean, it to me it looks like an apron, but I mean, look at the patchwork. Like the patchwork in here,
hmm
immediately recognizable to us. Like
hmm
that's a Lemoyne Star, right?
Well,
And
and doesn't this look like 1880s blue fabric?
mm-hmm, yeah, and then those little the things. I mean, those are essentially little tumblers, or I've seen them called ice cream cones or whatever.
hmm
But I mean, this is recognizable to us. This is
hmm hmm
which is what I think what amazed me so much when I started looking at the pictures of all of this. I'm like, this could be, early 20th century items in the US,
hmm
that are very scrappy. These are amazing. These little kids' outfits. This is the child's, right? Child
hmm
size.
hmm
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
how
little square and a
charming.
square.
And I have to say, in the book, um, there's a picture of a little boy, and there's a lot of black and white pictures. I guess it's and I don't remember the dates and stuff, and we're talking like 20th like early 20th century, I think, for some of it, late 19th for some of it, but they're black and white pictures. But there's this little kid, he is so cute, and he's wearing a garment something like this, and he is obviously so upset about having his picture taken. He's like, "Mm." And I'm like, oh, that
How
little
would they
fella's
meet today?
so cute. Oh my goodness, he was so cute. He just reminded me of my son when he was little. I'm like, don't take my picture.
By the way, LJ said that yesterday's QuiltCon was great.
Yeah, I covered Hillary Goodwin's exhibit. And then I accidentally took pictures of 3 other quilts that I thought were part of her exhibit and they weren't. But I feel like they were right there, and that's what really confused me. Like they were on the pipe and drape right there. Like anyway, yeah. So
Hmm.
thank you, LJ. I'm glad you
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
we have more QuiltCon stuff. We just didn't want to do like QuiltCon, 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 like since we
Yeah,
did
especially
QuiltCon
because
stuff
I'll
on
be
Saturday.
doing QuiltCon on Thursday again. So
So yeah, don't worry, QuiltCon to be continued. Um, and then this one up here.
oh, this little jacket. I would do anything for a me-sized version of that jacket.
Okay, that's not what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna be like, I would do anything to fit into this.
Well, I would assume that it is smallish.
Yeah.
It is for a child. But yeah, it would be really pretty fantastic. I mean,
I
just look at
mean,
that.
if
So
only
cool to look at.
you were a human that made patchwork and has made clothing, I feel like maybe you could make this.
Well, in the world where the cobbler's children are shoeless, that's often what my situation is like. But yeah, I mean, it just I don't. This is just so fantastic, and I just feel like this is something that, it's just so scrappy and cool looking, and I don't know.
I wish this
It's
was
really
so in this gallery there's a number of quilts that so you can see that this is behind like a plexiglass. There's a number of quilts in the middle of the gallery where they're sitting in glass so you can see the front and
Mhm.
the back. And I wish they'd done that with this because I'd like to see the back
Oh
of
yeah,
this,
yeah. I wonder what the back is like. Is it panels like this, or is it like one big thing, or
If I'm remembering, we might see it on the side there, like on the placard, but I don't remember. But you know what's so cool about this? Look at the center squares.
that is also pieced, right? And realizing how small these things are because they are children's, that's some teeny
Mhm.
tiny piecing. But this is primarily silk, right?
I don't remember. Let's find
I
out.
know, yeah, I know that I feel like I didn't read a whole lot in the book. I pretty much just looked at the pictures because
There's all kinds of fabrics.
okay,
All kinds. Okay, here, you want to read this one?
sure. Patchwork for children. Texts confirm that the custom of making patchwork jackets for children and swaddling cloths for newborns existed in Chinese society as early as 1,000 years ago. These patchwork clothes, probably imitating those worn by Buddhist and Taoist clergy, were thought to have auspicious powers. There's a lot of stuff in Chinese culture that's like about what is auspicious.
Mm-hmm.
In many villages, women still visit all the households to collect fabric scraps from which to assemble these jackets. For this reason, they are called, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, um, 100 family garments, is I guess what it means. The neighbors' numerous contributions are thought to increase the protective qualities of clothing. Oh, I love that. It's like it takes a village, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Theories explaining the custom abound. Did people believe that a child dressed in patched rags would appear less attractive to evil forces? Or did they hope that a child dressed like a religious figure, a Buddhist or Taoist, would be more fortunate? Though some young mothers find the custom old fashioned, many grandmothers still insist on creating these clothes for their youngest family members. I love that.
And I'm just wondering, no, that doesn't go over. So hopefully, there we go. Okay. So this is content. Okay. So the thing on the bottom is a buttocks curtain.
Okay, a butt curtain.
So yeah, so when you were like, it's like an apron, it is. It's just for the back.
Okay, so do the children wear split pants? Do they wear
Uh,
split pants? Okay.
yeah, see how it shows the pants with the slit
Okay.
there.
So this
Pants
must be
split
yeah.
along the center seam, allow children to relieve themselves by squatting.
Yeah. So this must be like, I mean, again, for small children, and their potty training and whatnot, that makes perfect sense.
And then the small vest in the center here, so it's cotton and synthetics, hand stitch patchwork, and then the one on the top, cotton and synthetics.
Okay. Okay. So
And
the ones I guess that looks the ones that it looks silky then are probably are the synthetic ones.
Yeah, so
buttocks
that
curtain.
the buttocks curtains, that was 1980s.
Yeah, they're all
Um,
80s. Yeah.
mhm. Like, and it's funny because the one on the bottom we thought looked older.
Right, LJ? Those little pineapple log cabins. And I feel like, I mean, the pineapple log cabins, in my opinion, I think are more difficult, even though they're not really, it's just about, you have to trim them on the angle. But um, yeah, they have such a look to them, it's like such a striking look. And especially because of the way that they're, putting the colors, it makes that sort of that bursting look.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Here was the other side of that jacket. The only reason I
Hmm.
couldn't get this side was because there was someone standing here at the time. But yeah, look at how teeny, right? Look at how
Hmm.
teeny that is. That center is even smaller than this one.
I just love it so much.
All right, moving on. So
Oh, this is fantastic.
you can see that this is in one of those see-through. So this
Hmm.
is just a top. Um,
And this, well, I guess we could look at we'll find out from the placard, but I'm wondering,
mhm.
is this for a door or is this for a bed?
So what do you think based on its shape
I mean,
and the fact that it's not finished? It's just a top.
yeah, I'm going to say it's probably a door, but
Anybody else? Anybody want to weigh in?
I just love this. I mean, think of all of um the quilts we've looked at, you know, um sort of sustenance quilts and African American quilts, and I mean the G's Bend tradition, a lot of these kind of shapes that they use over and over just because it's
Hmm.
kind of what their scraps were like.
Hmm.
That's it. Just this speaks a lot of that, and to me, it's like these are from rural communities. These are probably folks that even in the '80s probably didn't have the kind of you know they didn't have access to like quilting books, right? Like they may or may not have known what was going on in other places, depending on what their cultural connection was.
Hmm. Hmm.
I would assume today, certainly even rural communities can have pretty quick and easy access to, I mean, obviously the internet, um, but it would be my guess these things are in a lot of ways kind of coming up on their own, almost the way G's Bend did. It's kind of isolated and it, doesn't have these external forces
Hmm.
influencing it.
Yeah, I also thought it's interesting to me how kind of like an improvisational patchwork scenario
Hmm.
um looks very different depending on who's making them. Like this improvisational type patchwork is making a lot of use of long strips. Like look at
Hmm.
this one right here. This
Yeah.
long and super skinny strip that some might stay away from because it's difficult to piece or,
Yeah, sure.
and even though we've got some short, chunky pieces in here that might go the other way, creates visual interest. Who knows? Maybe it's, plugging up a hole to like fill in a gap where another piece didn't fit well. Um, I personally, if I was doing improv, I would probably stay away from long, skinny.
Well, I
You
would
know?
probably cut it. I mean, yes, long, skinny. Like, there's a certain point where you're like, oh, the seams alone are going to use up the whole piece. But I would probably cut long, skinny pieces into shorter, more manageable pieces. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just this speaks to me of a person sitting there sewing, just pulling it out of the bag and kind of looking at what they have and looking at what they're working on and going like, okay, this goes here and this looks good, right?
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm. Okay. So we've got
Ah, it's a bed cover.
unidentified. Okay, just ruin it all for everybody. Um,
Sorry.
Unidentified artist, 20th century, 1970s bed cover, cotton and synthetics, hand-pieced patchwork. While the green and blue common to Chinese clothing during the 50s, 60s, 70s dominate this work, the artist skillfully distributed a handful of bright colors into her kaleidoscopic composition. I like kaleidoscopic.
It
So
really is.
that's a good word. Groupings of stripes add a sense of structure to the whole, but the varying widths of strips, along with a smattering of irregular shapes and strategically placed accents of bright red, aqua, and yellow forms, create an unapologetic dynamism. Found in the warehouse of a used fabric seller, this textile unfortunately offers no clues to the identity of its maker, a woman who labored to hand stitch these hundreds of slivers and slices. Man, who
Slivers,
wrote
yeah.
these?
Yeah. They're real punchy. But yeah, those, I mean, those, I would say those are slivers of fabric. Yeah.
And no foundation.
And the back of it. You could see the back
But
of it.
can you
Yeah.
imagine the piecing of that with no foundation? I really want to be
Well,
like,
yeah.
I want to be like, hey, Victorians and your crazy quilts. Like, I'm sorry, these guys got one up on you.
Well, and not to mention synthetics, even when they're like like a weave and not a knit, they're still synthetics are just wiggly. Like they,
Mhm.
they don't hold a nice clean edge necessarily. So
Sorry,
that, yeah.
I was gonna say sorry as I zoom in here. This isn't as sharp. It was hard with this plexiglass.
Yeah, the
But I
reflection.
wanted you to see the really super varying stitches, which I'm not, I don't think it's all by one hand, to be honest with you, because all these stitches vary pretty dramatically.
Yeah. I mean, it also strikes me as the kind of thing like, and again, I did not read a lot of the text in the book because I just didn't have time. I was really just drooling, trying to keep my drool off the pages because the
Well, and
pictures
I
are so
showed you the
gorgeous.
book in case you wanted to buy the book.
Yeah, I do want to pick up the book eventually, but it seems to me these are the kind of things that, I mean, if you're obviously driving towards a garment for a child or something, like there's that set time frame, but seems to me things like this, unless there was an urgent need for it, if this
Mhm.
was just like, kind of keeping the textile making going, that she may have just worked on this, like, pull it up and make a section of it, and then maybe put the sections together as time, and
Mhm.
other people in the household might do that too,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know with whatever's being worked on. I don't know, but
Mhm.
I guess the question is, if they don't know who made it and it's found in a warehouse, how do they know that it was a bed cover?
Maybe by the size.
Yeah, I mean, again, to me, well, I wasn't there, so, but to me, I mean, I feel like it kind of is a garment it's in a liminal space. We don't exactly know what it was for.
Mm. I mean, you're sounding like a friend of ours who talks about if you don't know where someone is buried, you
If
know?
it doesn't have nail holes on it, or oh no, they don't accept
LJ,
PayPal.
LJ, you can get it on Amazon too. Um, are you talking about the MFA doesn't accept PayPal?
Yeah,
If
check
people
Amazon.
really
Also,
want it, if enough people
check
really want
Abe.
it and they want to buy it from the MFA, I can go get copies for people.
Yeah. I would say if you don't want to buy from Amazon, well, Abe is Amazon, but every now and then, even these newer catalogs make their way onto Abe like really fast. So,
I was actually surprised to even see that it was on Amazon.
mm. Yeah,
Just
I think,
because I'd
yeah.
say because oftentimes MFA books don't necessarily make it onto Amazon,
Yeah, it's
but
something I've noticed more often though. A lot of spaces, it surprises me that they are making them available on Amazon now. And I'm wondering if it's so that they don't have to stock as many copies. They could say like, "Oh, we sold out, but it's on Amazon," so they don't have to worry about it.
well, I
I don't
think
know.
there was definitely some discussion at one point about reach.
Mhm.
Obviously, if it's not on Amazon, it can't get recommended to you
Mhm.
as something you could be interested in just
Sure.
because it's on the MFA website. So, again, I'm not making any claims. However, anyone feels about Amazon, I'm just saying that that is an option. But if we have enough people that want it and they want to buy it from the MFA, I can go get copies for people.
To me,
I
Amazon
will
is like
say that the price is roughly very similar.
about the same, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, to me, Amazon is like fiber. Most of the time, it is absolutely awful, but you need it to stay alive.
What you think fibers? I love fiber. I mean, fiber is in fruits and vegetables,
I'm thinking of like a brand cereal type of fiber.
like
Like,
Metamucil
ugh. Yes,
fiber. No.
yes, it's terrible, but you
Eat
need it.
more fruits and vegetables. Here's another close up.
Oh gosh, I wish I could just touch these.
Don't get me started. You can't even get close to them, which you know how I feel about that based on another place we went to that made you stand back.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
did that
just
in this
knowing
exhibit too.
with this time period and kind of making some assumptions about what these fabrics are like, I would suspect there's different weight, like the weight of the
Hmm.
fabric.
Hmm. Yeah, so that was another thing for me. LJ just said $42 and you don't have to pay shipping on Amazon. Yes, that's true too, LJ. So there's options open to people. I will say it is a good hefty book. Definitely worth the money. I was shocked that the price was around. I think in the museum it's 45 or something.
Mhm.
I was very surprised it was not a lot more. I expected it to be a good, 55 plus dollar book. So well worth your while.
Okay.
But with these things, a
You
lot of
can't see
them,
this, but I'm showing the book really quickly on the screen. This is the book. Is what it looks like. And it is a very hefty book.
Mhm.
Okay. Back to you.
I was surprised given that a majority of these that we're going to look at are tops, um, that hanging them is supporting the weight fine. Like you're not seeing a lot of stress.
Hmm.
Um, and some of these you can tell are heavier, especially
Yeah.
because they don't necessarily have foundations in them.
Hmm. But I would also say, looking at, I mean, I could see how some of these are like the fabric curls a little bit. It's telling me it's synthetic. It's not pressing flat. They probably are a little bit lighter weight, like the literal
Oh,
weight
I'm
of
talking
it.
about other ones we're gonna see,
Okay.
not this
Okay.
one. There's a couple where I was like, I don't know that I would hang that, but okay. At least not for our purposes, you know. If someone else wants to hang it in their house, that's different. But for a museum, I was like, oh, I'm surprised we didn't lay that flat. So this is just a piece on improvisation. Not all patchwork textiles adhere to orderly patterns. Well, in fact, most don't. Many find their visual harmonic balance in non-repetitive compositions made from variously sized pieces of cloth. An affection for irregularity is embedded in Chinese culture. The Tao Te Ching, I was
Dao
like,
Te
damn, I
Ching.
know that word. I know
I was
that
gonna
word.
say you should know that from religious
Yeah.
studies.
The Tao Te Ching, the Taoist canon, traditionally believed to have been written between Laozi from about 400 BCE, negates regularity and predictability in its first sentence that can be translated as the way that can be trodden is not a consistent way. The aesthetic passions for organically shaped rocks, cracked ceramic glazes. I do like a cracked ceramic glaze. Cracked ice pattern window lattices, and other irregular artistic imagery reflect a cultural comfort and delight in diverting from strict patterning. Next,
And I believe in Japan they call, isn't it, wabi sabi is kind of the terminology for that same kind of concept of it's
I do
it's not symmetrical, it's not perfect,
I do not know off the top of my head.
yeah, I believe it is. This
There's
is
quite
very
a bit of
cool.
pink in this exhibit, I will say.
Well, in that bright kind of lipsticky red. I mean, it's almost a pinky red too. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a red is a very auspicious color. I think
Mm-hmm.
in Chinese culture. Oh no! Oh, so that was a child's bed mat that we just looked at.
So this one is all you, darling.
Okay. So Chen Yingping, Chinese, born in 1956. I probably said her name wrong. Um, child's bed mat made in 1980 of cotton and synthetics, hand-pieced patchwork, and machine bound. Chen grew up in a village of, oh boy, Gaojiaping. Gaojiaping. Uh, um, I know that the dialects in China, there are emphasis put on things to make it sound different, and I don't understand any of it. But anyway, she grew up in the village in a cave home. Wow, carved out of a cliff. Her father died when she was young, leaving her mother to care for 4 children. In addition to farming, her mother spun the cotton they grew. Oh my gosh. I studied during the day and spun cotton at night. Our mother insisted we spin at least 2 handfuls of cotton every night before we went to sleep. From homespun cloth, her mother made clothes, bed covers, and door curtains, as well as their cotton-soled shoes. Oh my gosh! Chen learned numerous patchwork patterns from her mother, including plum blossom, hexagon, and octagon designs, though she does not always feel compelled to follow a regular pattern. When she turned 23, her family found her a husband. Oh, well. They had 4 children. This small bedroom was for her first son. These were all scraps my mother-in-law brought back from a tailor shop in town. In those days, I thought this messy look was beautiful, but my mother-in-law did not like it at all. Well, that's cool though that she brought back these pieces from the tailor shop. Like that's a great source, of scraps if you don't have, you
Well,
know.
and this is her right here. And I
And
believe I
I'm
have the
looking
close
at
up.
that piece, and I think that picture is in the book, or a similar one, and I think that's like a door hanging, isn't it?
I believe so, but I think I took a close up of it.
Yeah, and it's the tumbling blocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to me, and I'm very curious, and I'm assuming that maybe this is addressed in the book. Um, but what is the influence here? Like they're definitely making patchwork stuff way back, but these compositions that we recognize, did those spring up from independently in their culture, or did they have access and start to see things like, oh, we can do that with our patchwork?
Well, again, having not read the book,
We all need to read the book.
yeah, but just based on things that we already know. So, like, example, when we were reading the dress diary
Hmm.
and trade is
Right.
happening. We've already got long established trade routes. The other thing to always consider too are missionaries touched
Yes, this is true.
every corner of this planet
Very
um
true.
before most other people ever did. Um So there's definitely been some kind of contact. Now, whether or not that contact included things like this,
Hmm.
but those would be like the first things I would guess, with the understanding that I could be absolutely wrong
Well,
and
and
that
I'm
things
also thinking
are
here,
coming
yeah,
about at the same time organically. Like
yeah,
example, I always think about the fact that before any contact, every culture on the planet has like a flood story
hmm,
and a dying and resurrecting man kind of figure. So those things spring up organically at the same time in different places. So
or Ancient Aliens is right, but we won't digress into that.
especially the guy with the really crazy hair.
um, but yes, I guess what's striking me is, and I think what struck me really about the book is there are some like very like old and ancient picture discussion of textiles, and of course then there's pictures that were, I think, late 1800s, early 20th century. Um, but I feel like everything we've looked at thus far has been dated 80s,
Mhm,
70s. So
mhm,
we're looking at like really almost contemporary pieces. So
mhm.
the question still remains, like, this is an old tradition, but are the patterns, because there's more Western influence? I'm just curious, the makers, and I mean, some of these are living makers, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this becomes a book that we read together.
Well,
Mhm,
we're all very entranced by these textiles, so it's a good chance
mhm,
that we'll all get the book.
mhm, mhm.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there's actually,
Amazing.
I think I think one of the ones I gave you for the thumbnail is my favorite. But yeah, this was pretty close because I like me a good hourglass.
Oh gosh, this is so amazing.
LJ agrees.
Yeah, I mean, I just and again, going back to, we see quilts like this in our history here in the US of,
Hmm.
and you look at them and you're like, oh, bless her heart, she made a million of those things and somehow she got them almost square, you know. Um but it's, to me, like I love textiles like this because it
Hmm.
doesn't, I mean, to me, it's like, it doesn't matter if it's square or rectangle or whatever. It's the
No,
fact.
we like weird quilts up in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. I mean, just the funkiness and the color distribution and just oh, I love it. And I
LJ
mean, even
said this is the one featured on the cover of the book.
right in the center, there's one that's like turned diagonally.
Is this one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
I like
And that's
wonky weird
purposeful,
stuff. Hmm.
obviously purposeful.
I like weird stuff. I like weird stuff. Okay. So mother, what is a Q? It's like a chi sound. Mother
Yeah,
chi.
Mother Chin.
Um, 20th century, a Kong cover, 1960s, cotton and synthetics handpiece patchwork. When asked about, oh, this is Miss, oh wait, never mind. We're talking about two different people here. When asked about patchwork textiles, Mr. Chin proudly pulled back his bed covers to show off this one hand stitched by his mother in the 1960s. Look how proud he is. I love him. She created it from multiple squares, each comprised of four triangles that form an hourglass-like image. I don't know how to say that word.
I think that's Shanxi province.
Okay, in the Shanxi province. I hope I said that right. The image is called
Yuan
Wanbao.
Bao.
Yeah, Wanbao or ingot, as it resembles historic gold and silver ingots, as well as a children's toy of the same name. In this photo, Mr. Chin sits in his Kong, a large masonry sleeping platform found in most northern Chinese homes. The Kong is connected to the cooking stove. As the hot smoke exits above the stove, it flows through flues under the Kong and heats the surface. That's very interesting. In addition to sleeping, during the colder seasons, family members often spend their days on the Kong doing daily tasks, playing and chatting with friends, and eating. Layers of blankets and bed covers soften the otherwise hard surface.
Well, that's brilliant.
That's very cool.
I mean, I love the fact that I sometimes my couch is pushed up against the wall and it really needs to be pulled back a little bit for the space because we have baseboards. When it's pushed against the wall, the baseboards heat the whole couch up. And
Mm.
I'm always like, this is so luxurious, even though I
As
know that
well as
it's,
your heated blanket.
well, that too, but even though it's probably a fire hazard and it's really not good for the fabrics on the couch. But nonetheless,
Hmm.
that's what that reminds me of. And that is wonderful. And I love that. And I need my own Kong.
I'm
I
curious
love that.
too about more information about this photo because I want to know, like, how did someone know that this was there in order to go and ask him about it and take this photo?
Oh,
Like, it was
yeah, I don't, my
like, was
guess is
someone like just someone just know like, oh, this particular village has some really great patchwork
that was
or
kind of my guess is that they visited whoever put this stuff together, visited various villages and probably went door to door and asked.
yeah, that's what I would want to know some of the method behind the madness here, like how
Hmm.
did you guys find out about this? And of course, yes, I took a more close up of him. I also like that this like felted looking blanket here also looks like faux patchwork.
His polar fleece.
Now we have this one.
Yeah, and I mean this has I don't want to say necessarily G's Ben vibes because I their stuff is not quite like this, but it just gives me vibes of like those kinds of quilts.
Hmm. I like the smattering here, just a little like red,
Yeah.
red.
And then that like one big irregular white piece that's off to the
Mm-hmm.
side.
Kind of reminds me of a cloud. Here you go.
Okay. Wang Yingying, Chinese, 1897 to 1984. Bed cover, 1950s, cotton and synthetics, hand pieced patchwork. The elderly widow Li Huanlin stood in her courtyard speaking about the maker of this bed cover, her husband's grandmother, Wang Ying. Her life was heartbreaking. Her husband died at the age of 30. A widow, she had to go out and beg to feed her two sons. But she was frugal and clean and neat. When Lee joined the family, Nai Nai, or Grandma, was still going out begging for handouts. She also made shoe soles to sell in a nearby town, and she gathered rags, sewing them together to make larger expanses of fabric to use in her home. Her compositions, Lee explained, were just pairing big pieces with big pieces and small pieces with small pieces. Huang likely created this bed cover with remnants of old clothes from the 1950s. The lack of right angles and non-adherence to any set pattern, coupled with the irregularity of the color placement, creates a bold composition. Though seemingly just an assemblage of available materials, the brighter green near the center, two large whitish patches on the right, and the red rectangle in one corner all demonstrate a clear aesthetic sensibility. Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think that, there's a lot of that like, oh, bless their hearts kind of attitude about textiles that look like this, that are very scrappy and sort of messy, that it's just thrown together, but it's not. It really truly is not. I think about women here in our country, like there's they probably were just kind of pulling out of the rag bag, but they sat and looked at those things and made a composition. They weren't closing their eyes before they sewed.
I think I got a close up too of this. Nope. Hold on. Oh. This here on the side is a picture of her and her husband.
Ah. And Mao Tse, is that Mao Zedong? On the right hand side, Chairman Mao. Alrighty, moving right along.
Yeah, like, why are we? This is a close up of textile.
Yeah, and these fabrics are so interesting. Like that green is kind of like a tweedy, and then there's that sort of brown that looks like a boucle type of like a suiting fabric. I mean, that looks like some like
Whatever weird names you're coming up with here, sure.
well, that big green one, it looks like pants. Like
Yeah.
it's the curve of pants.
True story.
Yeah, this is one of the ones you gave me for isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
For
remember.
the
There's a
thumbnail, I
couple
think
that
it
are
is.
like there's a couple that are like this.
Oh, so amazing.
Yeah, and like look at all these centers.
Yeah, I love the fact that the centers aren't just a static, single piece.
Yeah, they're all like this one's just a bunch of vertical pieces
But
together.
then it's
Like,
framed in this like log cabin or courthouse steps sort of framing.
Yep. Yep. And this one's like a reverse applique scenario.
So very cool.
So this one is yang or yang. I mean, I would say like Julian, but I'm not,
Let's
doesn't
just call it
sound right.
Julian.
I'm not sure. Chinese, born about 1940. This is a bed cover, 1980s, cotton and synthetics, machine piece patchwork. Jan Julian's cover.
It's probably Guilian, but
Julian.
or
I'm not
something like
sure.
that.
Well, and I hate butchering people's names. It makes me feel bad. This bed cover is a series. It is a series of squares, most of which are constructed of brightly printed fabric strips arranged in concentric squares, diminishing the size towards the center. Like many patchwork makers in rural China, she maintains great variation within each square. Notice how the centers of each square differ. Three replicate the shape of an ancient Chinese coin, a square within a circle, symbolizing prosperity. For the centers of the two squares, she dispensed with the concentric squares and elected to construct them entirely of parallel fabric strips. Like most older people in Chinese villages, Yang lives with her son, daughter-in-law, and grandchildren. Her daughter-in-law helped search through the house for Yang's patchworks, but could only find two. All the others were thrown out, she explained, revealing a fading interest in homemade objects among some younger people in China.
All right, listen here, younger people in China. You better stop throwing out this cool patchwork. If you don't want it, send it to us. We'd love
Yeah,
it. It's so
well,
beautiful.
and you know what's interesting is this is the same province as that other photo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, it does say 100 villages. So, yeah. Wow.
Yep, here's a close-up. Look at this one. It's like an envelope. And that one. And yeah, I really like.
Yeah, these are so cool.
And look, an attempt at like just some
I know.
simple like quilting.
Yeah, that's why I know this one is one of the ones I used for the thumbnail because I remember that. I was like, "Oh, look at that." It's like a trying to make a cable there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm. This one is has a little more of an attempt at some control, I guess. Here you go.
Oh, finally we have a door curtain. Okay, unidentified artist, Chinese, 20th century. Door curtain, 1980s. Cotton and synthetics, hand and machine pieced patchwork. Oh, but wait a minute. It says it's a door curtain, but in creating this bed cover and or door curtain, whatever the case may be, the maker elected to adhere to strict perpendicular axes and similarly sized rectangular fabrics, but otherwise she felt free to vary the orientation and placement of the patches. She clustered her white rectangles across the center and placed the colored plaids, perhaps remnants from suit cloth, along the edges, with more on one side than the other. The unpredictability of the shapes, orientations, and the placement of the colors encourages our eyes to constantly meander about the composition. This interest in riffing on our regular pattern is common in Chinese aesthetics and is frequently found in patchwork.
Hmm.
So let's look at it. I didn't get a good look at that first picture of it. Hmm. Okay.
What are you thinking about?
No, I'm just observing the things that the placard talked about, the plaids on the outside
Mm-hmm.
and then the white pieces on the inside. And then I noticed at the bottom, she's kind of mitered the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get a back of
Ooh,
that one. Though you know what? There probably wasn't a back because
that
it's
one was
probably
small.
this. Yeah, it's probably this is the back. This one reminded me of Connect Four, the game Connect Four.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, Mother Lee. So, Mother Lee is Chinese. She was 1901 to 1991. Door curtain, early 1980s, cotton and synthetics, machine piece patchwork. When the mother of Lee, I'm not going to say that. You know, it's funny. I went to a school named Lilja, and that kind of looks like it's like Lija Shang. I don't know. But in the village of the Sanxi province, made this door curtain in the early 1980s. The available fabric colors were mostly limited to the grays and dark blues that had predominated during the Cultural Revolution, which was the 1966 to 76. Uh, to enliven the surface of the grid pattern, she added small colorful squares in an asymmetrical pattern, a column of red squares, three columns of pink squares, followed by two columns of red again. In addition, she varied the colors of the bottom squares at the base of each column, including a single yellow square to give an extra flair to the work. Though she died many years ago, her son still hangs her door curtains to keep out cold drafts and keep others in storage for future use.
Okay, now this is a son. This is a good son who
Huh.
values his mother's work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like that we can actually like see that particular quilt hanging.
Hmm.
Did I I don't know. Did I close up that photo? Nope. Going back. Shush. Shush your face.
So the Lee family home.
And you know what's funny is based on the treatment here in the windows. That totally looks like
Mhm.
it fits.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you can obviously see the influence in design characteristics around
Hmm.
the makers, you know.
Hmm. This is
Ah,
one of my
this
favorites.
it just reminds me of propeller blades, just propellers. Like,
Mm. Yeah, I like all these irregular, like star-shaped type things in the center. And again,
mhm.
here's one that like looks like an envelope.
Yeah, and that's interesting. They mentioned the Cultural Revolution. I mean, you had a lot of people wearing uniforms, I think, in their various occupations, and that dark blue, is probably part of that.
This one's also really interesting because like for the most part, these three rows all line up, but then like this row doesn't. And I'm wondering if that was intentional.
Well, I mean, it gives at the very least, it gives you the clue of like how it was constructed. You know, they weren't constructed that way. They were constructed in strips, or at least when that one was added on, it was. The other ones
Mm-hmm.
might have been constructed otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So very cool.
There you go.
Ooh, a sofa cover. So this is Zhang Yunyang, Chinese, born in 1950. Sofa cover, 2019. Cotton and synthetics, hand and machine pieced patchwork. In 1975, sewing machines were scarce and expensive, but when one became available in her village for 150 yuan, Zhang and her husband, who made 45 yuan a month, actually her name, last names go first, right? So actually her first name was Yun Yang, maybe. I'm so bad with names. In any event, they were determined to acquire it, borrowing money from their friends, neighbors, and family. To earn money to repay them, she began sewing clothes, charging zero point 0.20 yuan for a pair of pants and zero point 0.3 yuan for a shirt. Now known as the finest patchwork maker in her village, she is still using the same foot pedal machine to create bed covers, stool covers, and door curtains for her home. For this sofa cover, made with leftover scraps from a local tailor, she stitched together a series of octagons with central stars or crosses. Though each octagon is essentially the same construction, she varied the color placement in each to produce a vibrant composition.
Huh.
Very cool.
No, did I get it
Gosh, these
close?
women are
Yeah.
they're I mean, just like their sense of design is just brilliant with these.
Mm-hmm. I did not get a close-up of her.
Oh, look at that. Now
Mm-hmm.
this is unexpected because it is not scrappy.
Yep. Yep. Interesting orange lattice work here. So we've got Cheng Yue, born Chinese, born 1949, door curtain 2016. Cotton and synthetics, machine piece patchwork for millennia. Most people in northern Shaanxi and Shaanxi,
It must
Shaanxi,
be Shanzi and Shanzi.
maybe provinces have lived in man-made caves carved out of the Loess cliffs.
I think that's some kind of rock.
Okay. When building homes of brick, they replicate the arched entryways and the interior barrel-shaped ceilings. Wooden lattice. We haven't seen any pictures of ceilings yet, have we? I
Because I
don't
don't
think
think
we've
any
seen
of
a
them have been
ceiling.
indoor
Yeah.
pictures.
Well, that the one with the guy sitting on the bed, but I don't think we could
Mm,
really see much of a
yeah, it didn't
ceiling.
show much of a ceiling.
Um, Wooden lattices fit into fenis
Fenestrations.
fenestrations. Is that in between the windows?
I think they're basically holes.
Okay.
Transoms are a fenestration.
Fenestrations. Yeah, I mean that's like the window part, like on the facade to support paper that keeps out cold drafts and allows light to suffuse indoors. Okay. I'm picturing different things now. The geometric ornamentation on these lattices may contribute to the familiarity and comfort the patchwork makers have with creating abstract compositions. And then I'm assuming that that's probably the same quilt as a door cover right there. And then look, there's
Hmm.
another one right here. I do think I have a close-up of this photo. Yeah, because it's a bigger photo. You look at, there's a quilt here and one here.
Gosh, can you imagine, like, I mean, in some of these little villages, if there's lots of people that are using these textiles just to walk through the street and like look at their front doors, basically, or I mean, assume this is the front, maybe this is the back of the house. I don't know,
You know
but
what else I wonder is because, I was wondering out loud, like, what's the method to the madness and going to these places and finding these. I also want to know, since this quote was what, 2016, didn't it say? Why is this
or
photo black and white?
2019. Oh, that's a good question.
I
Well, and
mean,
I mean,
don't
it
get me
may have been a
wrong.
design choice. It may
Yeah,
have had
it's
design
cool,
choice.
but imagine what it would look like if we're seeing these in color.
Yeah.
Because we know this quilt is very vibrant.
Hmm.
So just saying. Just saying.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah, here's another. This was blown up on the wall. You look confused.
I'm just trying to figure out what is that across the top like.
Corn.
Oh, corn. I guess it's is it being hung to dry, maybe, or
That makes sense.
I wonder if it has any, if there's any particular reason it's at the over the front door.
I don't think that's the door. I think that's just an arch. Oop, sorry. I think because like, see, this is the door here. And this is like a window. I think this is just an
Yeah.
arch. See, it's an arch. See the floor here?
Okay. Hmm.
Um, it's another one in a door. I kind of feel like we should do this in our lives. Just like barn quilts,
Mm-hmm.
There is a house that I often drive by that does off always hang a quilt on her porch. And I always
Yeah,
find myself looking for it when I drive by.
well, I know that you had added some curtains to one of your rooms, the opening that doesn't have a door. You could have added a quilt.
No, it has a door. It has a window that goes in that you can see into the stairwell. So it was for privacy. We hung it on the inside of the room.
Okay.
So this
But it was
one, this
also
one
for
looks,
warmth, right? I mean, it was about keeping drafts out, right?
yeah. This one looks like like painting to me.
Oh, I know this one's really lovely. And, yeah, and that one has like a different energy to it. Like it's still very scrappy, but it's like a different kind of frenetic energy than
Here's one of those
the.
photos in color.
Uh,
Here you go.
hmm. Okay. Lois Connor, American, born in 1951, is an internationally acclaimed photographer who uses an elongated 7 by 17 format banquet camera, seen here. Wow, that's like one of those old fashioned, like, put the thing over your head, to create powerful images from which she makes elegant platinum prints. She accompanied Nancy Berliner, Wu Tung Senior Curator of Chinese Art at the MFA, on numerous research trips to the Chinese countryside during the development of this exhibition. Okay, so now you know who this woman is, Nancy Berliner. She's gallivanting the Chinese countryside. Um, Connor's work is in the collections of numerous museums, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, the British Museum, and the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. Ooh, this is cool. I like how it starts with smaller pieces and they get bigger. And it's
I'm
got
actually
almost like
wondering
a.
though, going back to this though, I'm wondering if I missed placard for this because that other
Because
one,
I just read a placard about a
yeah, related
photographer.
to those photos. But I'm just trying to think. Oh, you know what? Nope, there was one with a placard missing because we all commented on how the placard was missing.
Hmm.
It must have been this one. Must have been that one. Anyways, sorry. Okay, moving on. So we have this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't want that. Get rid of that. What's that? Okay. So we have unidentified artists, Chinese 20th century, door curtain, 1970s, cotton and synthetics, machine piece patchwork. During the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, most adults in China wore blue clothing. So the color blue predominated in patchwork textiles, piece from old clothes. In a nod to Chinese traditions, a single bright and auspicious red rectangle punctuates this composition, along with a few spots of red in a printed fabric at the bottom. Did I? Oh
Yep,
yeah,
there's the red.
I was gonna say like, was there red? Like,
Mhm.
okay.
Ah, this is cool. This is like a modern interpretation of tumbling blocks.
Mm. I think it's also very interesting to note too that they tended to make their quilts like kind of long and skinny, whether for doorways or beds or anything. But it's interesting because ours here tend to be wide compared to
Hmm.
these.
Well, I mean that's there's a reason for both.
No, I
So,
know. I'm just saying that I find that
mhm.
interesting. The other thing that I find interesting that also pisses me off that I commented to Laura Lane, because we do it here too, is that like nobody ever puts the dimensions on the placards ever.
Yeah, I was trying to remember some of the quilts at QuiltCon, like how big they were, and I was like, I think it was about like so yay big. Yeah.
I don't know why that's not standard practice for.
Well, I mean, I guess the thought process is they're trying to keep those. I mean, sometimes those placards are wordy as it is, but I think they're probably thinking like, well, you're looking at it in person, like you can kind of figure that out, can't you, dummy? Like,
No, but what about all the people that are looking at things like digitally? I'm thinking like if we make sure to have
yeah.
space on it based on who gifted it, which
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day isn't actually relevant information. I feel like we should have space for the dimensions. Just saying. We should start a revolution.
Well, I mean, every piece of artwork I have ever submitted for any kind of show, I had to give dimensions. So, of course, that's usually about them planning the show and deciding is your piece too big, too small, does it fit the requirements? But they
Hmm.
have the dimensions, they just don't use the dimensions.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm.
Okay. Take it away.
All right. Mother Lee, Chinese, 1901 to 1991. Is this the same?
I think so. Might be.
Yeah. Okay. So this was a door curtain from the 80s, cotton and synthetics, hand and machine piece patchwork. The mother of Li Shengyu, her given name has been lost to time. Oh gosh, that's sad because she'd only died like within our lifetimes. Geez. Um, she used rhombuses as the primary building blocks of her door curtain. During the 60s and 70s, fabric was scarce. Mother Lee often needed multiple scraps to create a single rhombus. At the time, most people wore blue or green to be in harmony with the socially prestigious proletariat, thus, the prevalence of the greens and blues in this work. With her clever use of small scraps of color scattered across the whole composition, Mother Lee was able to produce a bright and colorful curtain. Another work by her, hanging across the room, is constructed from squares and rectangles with many of the same colors, but a completely different pattern. That is fantastic that they got two pieces so that you could see the difference in her work.
Hmm.
Can you go
Well,
back?
I think it's
Can we
really
look
cool,
at it
like
again?
seeing the light coming through that.
Yeah, can we look at it again? Just real quick. Can you scroll in some? Okay. Yeah. Oh, I love that mauvey, pinky, purpley color. It's kind of bright. Yeah.
Actually, both of these could.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder,
I
did
love
I get?
it. It's
Yeah, I might have.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I did take a close up.
Oh, okay.
Like, look how, because in my other photo, you don't really see how green these are.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I wanted to look closer, like because they're talking about the blues and the greens, but they really do recede with those bright, bright colors. And
And then I
that's just
like the
really how I
texture of
appreciate
this
that.
piece here.
Hmm.
And like up here, it looks like tire tracks.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, minimal quilting, all just patchwork.
Hmm. Well, I mean, none of these are really like 3-layer quilts, are they? Except maybe the children's clothing.
Hmm.
Or are they?
No, I think most of them are not.
Yeah, it appeared to me that the children's clothing seemed to have like something in it to make it like,
Hmm. Yeah, they had some stitches. This one's one of
this
my
is
favorites.
wild. This is wild.
So it's funny. It kind of makes, when I first look at it, it actually makes me think of eyeballs.
Wow. There's a lot of striped fabric in there, I can see.
And there, I definitely remember I did get close up here.
Okay.
So this is unidentified artist, Chinese 20th century, bed cover, 1970s, cotton and synthetics, handpiece patchwork. The maker of this bed cover acquired at the flea market stall of a used fabric seller. What a score!
I know,
Pieced it
geez.
together from almost 9,000 separate scraps of fabric.
9,000.
She assembled each of the 690 squares from 13 triangles of increasing size, arranged around a square center. While adhering to the pattern across the entire expanse, she allowed herself the freedom to randomly vary the fabrics and colors, bringing an extra dynamism to the composition. And this is detail of the backside because I think I don't think we can see the backside.
Wow.
Oh,
And they look like they're fairly tiny, right? Each
oh
of
yeah.
those little units.
Hmm. Yep, they're pretty darn small.
And there's 13 triangles in them.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yep. I want to say, like, if I'm thinking about staring in front of that quilt.
Well, I guess it's 13 pieces. It's not 13 triangles because the center piece is a square or a
Hmm.
diamond. Yeah, I mean, these are basically economy blocks.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if I can gauge about. Again, it would be nice if they said how big the squares roughly were. I feel like they were just like a few inches.
So, like,
They're not very big. Yeah, like maybe a 3-inch square.
very, very cool. I like that one.
So
Ooh.
this is not part of the Chinese patchwork exhibit. Um, this is a quilt in another part of the American wing of the MFA. Um,
So, is this paper cut or is this Hawaiian? It's paper cut, isn't it?
um, well, it's funny. So, Laura's like, yeah, so there's usually a quilt always hanging in the American wing, so we set off to find it. One thing that pissed me off is you can't see the back of this quilt. And I really wanted to see the back of this quilt, but it was very stunning. It is behind plexiglass, so it was kind of annoying to take pictures of it.
Ooh, okay, Mennonite.
Yeah, there you go,
Now,
dear.
do we know for sure it's Mennonite? Was the
So that's
person
what I
buried?
that's what I was like. I was like, do we know where this person is buried?
Okay. Oh, so you give another one with a difficult to pronounce thing. Okay. Unidentified Mennonite maker. Sharon Schnitte quilt, Pennsylvania, about 1880. Applique cotton, plain weave top, backed with discharged and printed cotton, plain weave and quilted. Edges bound with cotton plain weave. Oh, so that's interesting. The backing isn't solid. It
We don't
it
get to see the back.
yeah. Huh. Okay. Scherenschnitte is German for
It's
scissor
just
snipping. Don't
Sharon
you love
Schnitt.
the German? Huh?
Sharon Schnitt.
No, I've heard them say, the people in Pennsylvania still call it
Really?
Scherenschnitte. Yeah, you
No,
pronounce
some of
the.
our friends don't pronounce the E on
Yeah,
the
I don't know.
end.
Druid, are you still here? She speaks a decent amount of German. Don't you love German though, for all the wild words?
No.
So, scissor snipping. The term refers to the elaborate cut paper pictures traditionally made by Pennsylvania Germans, the descendants of German speaking immigrants who settled there in the 17th and 18th centuries. This quilt maker adapted the craft, carefully cutting the red forms and then appliquing them onto a green ground. Like many of the Mennonite quilt makers, she chose intense complementary colors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Robin
Robin
and
said, you
Grace.
always want to see the back. I know.
Well,
God, it's
so
at
one of
least
the
at a quilt
reasons,
show, you can get the white gloves to turn for you.
one of the reasons I really want to see the back, um, is there's some really great quilting on this thing. But yeah,
hmm
look
This
at
is
all those
gorgeous.
tiny stitches.
Yeah, this is gorgeous. This is, I mean, um, I was 99% sure it was Pennsylvania, paper cutting. But sometimes those you see, I mean, they're good. They're very nice looking, but you kind of see the wonkiness in them sometimes.
Hmm.
And sometimes they're really huge, almost like the Hawaiian ones, but I feel like often they are in blocks, either
Hmm.
about like 4 big blocks or whatever. But yeah, this one is very, very,
So Druid agrees with you. You say the on the end.
mhm, yeah. Schnitte.
Yeah, look at this quilting.
Is
That's what
Schnitte means to cut, right? That's snip.
I really want to see the quilting on the back.
Oh, I love that quilting. That's like it's not feathers, it's like a
This
vine.
is this is a very interesting motif right here because it looks like a mouth.
Yeah, what is that?
Like if you let's see. Nope, the
It's
other way.
it's supposed to be like a sort of a squat flower, I probably.
I don't know, but doesn't it totally look like a mouth?
Yeah, it does. Oh, this is beautiful. The red and olive green together though like hurts my eyes.
And that is the last photo.
Well, that was a really, really cool exhibit. Yeah, I think I get what you mean about they're just you think it was going to be a whole lot and it really wasn't as many pieces as you
Hmm.
expected.
Well, considering
But
too that the pieces are small.
but I have to say the book. I mean, having looked at your copy of the book, it's a beautiful book, and there's a lot more pictures of more things. There's a ton of garments in it,
Hmm.
and not just children's garments. I think there were some of those. I mean, in fashion today, we'd call it like surplus. It's like it crosses over and ties, but those jackets that cross and tie on the side. I know there was several of those, and
Hmm. Hmm.
and not quite as like that manic tiny little piecing, but like some larger pieces I remember, and just very, very beautiful. Um, yeah, they have really nice work in these villages.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice it was a nice outing. Nice day.
Yeah.
It was crazy though because somehow like we scheduled that for the day before we left for Colcon.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was literally like I will say though, we did meet there were a couple of like first time attendees to like an event. And we did meet someone that was hysterical. So it was well worth it. And we were surprised we went on a holiday Monday and the museum was not near as crowded as we actually expected it to be. But the thing
That
that
is always
stinks
very
about
nice too.
yeah, the thing that stinks about museums, I don't know about you guys, but they make me so tired because it's overload
Yeah,
and like I'm so excited. Like,
I know. Same. I go to museums and I'm like, oh, I got to see everything. Ah.
yeah, like I think museums are always wondering kind of how they can stay financially relevant and continue to make money because they have to.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm like, they need to invest in nap pods. Because like if I could like take a break, go eat lunch, and take a nap and then go back and see more, I'd be there all freaking day.
Yeah, the Mingay has a very big like it almost looks like a cafeteria kind of thing, but I don't think it is. I think it's like you go up and order and there might be like grab and go kind of stuff, but they have this big, big space to eat in.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
thinking they could probably cut down a little bit on that and they could put some nap pods.
Yeah, I would pay money for a nap.
Yeah. And I mean,
So,
we know those things exist, like Google has them, right? For people that they work 24/7.
well, in Asian cultures, you find those places, especially in airports and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
It's funny, my
yes, they
my
exist.
mom and I were talking about that when we were in England and we were stuck at Heathrow for a really long time, and she and I were just like, oh man, we should create like some kind of business where, you just can like just rent like a drawer that you can lay down in and sleep. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure that's already been invented. And indeed it has.
Hmm.
So
Yep. Yeah. But that's
that was very cool.
that's all for today.
And it is just so exciting that what the women in those villages are working on and
Hmm.
made.
Yeah. So yeah, I do highly recommend that you get a copy of that book as well as a
And this
copy of
one.
our next book.
Make sure you get this one if you're going to read along.
Yeah, the link is in the description.
Mhm.
It's also on our Facebook and on our Instagram.
Yep. And an exhibit that I need to get to, our friend Stephanie sent me pictures because she just went, is the exhibit at the Renwick, which is like the fairs. And there's some
Yeah, I've
Century
seen some
Progress
photos
stuff.
from that.
Yeah. So she sent me a few pictures. I was like, don't send me too many. I need to like see it like fresh.
Yeah, you slacker, like get over there.
Yeah, I think in fact I need to double check the dates so I can get down there before, because Renwick often will have like very short runs. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, if that is all you have,
That's all I got.
well, thank you guys. And it's good to be back and maybe to have a month of like we've got stuff to do, but a little bit of normalcy in terms of our schedule.
Yeah,
We'll see.
downtime. Plus, we always have a backlog of stuff we got to look at.
Yeah, so we can knock out
So.
a bunch of stuff. So, all
Mm-hmm.
right, guys. Well, hope to see you on Thursday on my stream. If not, we'll see you next week. Same nerding time, same nerding channel, right?
Mm-hmm. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.